Everybody, get together and look at Kaiba. Oh, Kaiba saw a dog on TV, and there he goes to lose his mind. The puppy's on TV, the puppy's not in the house. You're safe. You're safe. Yes, I know. I saw the puppy. Yes, baby, I saw the puppy. Yes, baby. It's okay. Oh my goodness, more puppies. Kaiba, you're adorable. Pet.ca. I'm gonna have to look into that for Kaiba. I do not have insurance for you yet. And your pet bills are expensive sometimes. All right, baby, all right. You're okay. You're okay. He'll settle down in a minute or two, hopefully. There's no puppy in the house. Running over and yelling at the door makes no sense, because the puppy's on the TV. Alright, it is Tuesday. Welcome to Tuesday, everyone. And welcome to Dress Home Tuesday! Hopefully that wasn't too loud for your ears. Alright, we are back to do our favorite thing on Tuesdays, and the classic thing that started off this channel. It is Dollarama Draws of Destiny. This today I have 6 packs of Destiny for you, and there's a special reason for that. I haven't seen these in a really long time. Um, these ones are packed, they're packed by the same company, don't get me wrong. Pristine packs both these packages. But I've always found it interesting when you get these like blue packs versus the traditional see-through packs. In terms of whether the blue packs actually have more value or less value than the traditional ones that I get in Hamilton. So these ones came from Parry Sound when we were on our trip to see Kai last weekend. And, oh, Kaiba, don't feel bad. There's no puppy outside. You're safe. I promise. Come here. Give me. Do you want a treat? Want a treat? Want a meat stick? Oh. Oh. Ooh, meat stick. See if we can lure him back over. Come on, Kaiba. Come back over. You're okay, baby. There. That's for you. Okay? That's cool. Oh. This leaving the TV on for him during the day was a good and terrible idea at the same time. Great because he actually seems like he's more himself, having the extra noise in the background and stuff. I guess it just makes him feel like he's like not alone. I never really thought about it because I walk around a lot with headphones on, listening to like videos on YouTube and stuff like that. I'm not really big on watching TV, so um here you go, baby. Yeah, that's for you. You're okay, sweetheart. Gonna go back and lay down in the chair? Promise, you're okay. You're okay, sweetheart. Bye. It's Uncle Mr. Policeman. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be like that all day. You're gonna be like this the whole video. You're all crazy and excited about puppies on TV. Give me a good boy. Good boy, the squatches. Oh, the squatches. Yes. So yeah, they're the same price. They're by the same company, so obviously they should, in theory, be the same sort of stuff. They both state that they include a rare, but um, I've just always found it interesting. I think the see-through packs have more value in them. I think has been my experience in the blue ones, but I'll be happy to be surprised. Uh, made in the U.S., packed in Canada. Are these the same? Made in the U.S., packed in Canada? Actually, doesn't say anything about where they're packed or anything like that. Just says, enclosed genuine collectible trading cards have been legally purchased and repackaged for retail sale. Blah, blah, blah. Huh, interesting. I'm just gonna go one and one, and we will see which side has the more superior packs today. I did buy several more packs of these, so we might be doing this for a few weeks. But I thought it would be just a fun way to mix things up a little bit. Maybe I'll do it every now and again as a way to break it up. Who knows? Pack number one. Oop, it was actually open at the bottom. So I will have to make sure that I check to make sure there are 15 cards in here. Oh, seems like they are flipped around in different ways too. Holy crap. This pack is all kinds of spoilers. You're okay, honey. Yes, you are. You're okay. I know. Alright, we got Path of Ancestry. Nice hit to start us off, guys. Beautiful land. Um, Fall version is not my favorite version of it, but always having an extra Path of Ancestry for any of those tribal decks is a fantastic thing. Titan Strength. Target creature gets +3/+1 until end of turn and you scry one. For one red? That's not bad. I'll take that. Pattern Matcher. Artifact creature Golem 4 for 3/3. When this thing enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card with the same name as another creature you control, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. There are a few decks that this will work in, because even though Commander is supposed to be a singleton format, there are certain cards that let you get around that. For example, the green slime guy that everybody always chases after because Slimes to Humanity is a funny deck to build. Um, Recently, they came out with a bird, actually, that's pretty cool. It's a 1/1, I think it has lifelink, maybe. But you can have multiple copies of it, which is pretty good. Anyways, so I'm going to put this actually as a bottom still because it's very limited in what it can do, but I like the artwork on it, which is pretty nice. Knight's Pledge. 1 and a white, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Only costs 2 to put into play. I'm gonna leave it as a mid. If it gave me something else, it would definitely go top. But mid is good. I'm just gonna put the land to the side actually, because we usually don't include lands in our rankings. Ondu Giant. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Yeah, okay. 2/4/4/4. That's decent enough. Vidalcan Blademaster. 2 and a blue has prowess. Interesting, and it's a 2/3. I mean, that's not bad. Prowess is definitely something that will get hit a lot more in blue than it will in some of the other colors. Basically, as long as you're not playing a creature spell, this thing gets +1/+1 until end of turn for every spell that you play. So, in theory, you can buff this up pretty big if you play enough instants. And the cost is pretty decent for what it gives you. So, I will put it there. 1 green and white for a 3/3 Centaur Cleric called Centaur Healer. And when this thing enters battlefield, you gain 3 life. Pretty straightforward, pretty decent. The colors do limit it a little bit, but green-white is a pretty classic combo, so I will still give it top. Aeronaut Admiral. Three and a white. Flying vehicles you control have flying. Ooh, nice. I do actually want to build a vehicles deck at some point in the near future, so this is going to be a great hit for that deck. Emra Cool's Influence. 2 and 2 green. Whenever you cast an Eldrazi creature spell with converted mana cost 7 or greater, draw 2 cards. Okay, well that is very useful in a very specific deck. This card might actually get some really good value in the near future because the Edge of Eternity set has a bunch of slivers apparently and a bunch of Eldrazi in it. So this might actually be really valuable in the near future, which is cool. It's always fun when you pull something out of these packs that at the time you open the pack is worth like 25 cents, and then like 5 or 6 months later, in this case much sooner, jumps to like $3 or $4. I mean, that's not an insane value by any means, like in terms of collecting, but in terms of just like the percentage that the value of the card jumps is insane sometimes. Ooh, Sludge Monster. 3 and 2 blue for a horror 5/5. And whenever Sludge Monster enters the battlefield or attacks, put a slime counter on up to one other target creature. Non-horror creatures with slime counters on them lose all abilities and have base power and tough. Ooh, I like that a lot. That is actually really cool. I'm not I haven't built a horrors deck before. The classic colors for horrors would be blue and black. Just gonna turn on the light for you guys, because I'm not liking the way the cards are showing up on my video so far. There, let's just test to make sure that shows up better. Yeah, that's much better now, isn't that? You guys can see that a lot better now. Excellent. All right. Seacoast Drake. Flying 1/3 for 1 and a blue. Yeah, okay, I'll take that. Pursue Glory, as you guys know for the record, has a bigger butt. I like bigger butts, so I will take that as a top pull. Pursue Glory, 3 in a red. Attacking creatures get +2/+0 until end of turn. It's a really expensive instant. The cycling makes it okay. I'll put it mid because of the cycling, but I probably wouldn't play that card to be honest. Doesn't give you enough stuff for what you're paying. 1 and 2 red for another instant. This one looks old, but not old enough. It's 2014. Orcish Cannonade deals 3 damage to target creature or player and 3 damage to you. And then you get to draw a card. That's interesting. Put that mid. Ooh, that would be a fun one to put into my goblin deck that I'm building. Nut Button Torchwinner. 2 in a red. When it is put into a graveyard from play, it deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Interesting. It's a 1/1. So you want it to die. The oil sloshes against his skull as he nears his destination. The Frog Tosser Games and the Lighting of the Flaming Bogart. Okay, because of the flavor text, I'm going to put it top. Probably belongs mid, but I do like that flavor text a lot, actually. So, sounds like a really cool version of the Olympics that I might want to go see sometime. Draenith Healer is our last card for this pack, 1 and a white. Whenever you cycle another card, you gain a life. You can cycle this card, and it's a 2/2. I don't really play cycling in general. Not because it's a bad mechanic, just simply because I don't have a deck that's really focused on that per se. I've never actually pulled a commander that I was really thrilled about that focuses on cycling as of yet. So if I ever do pull one, it's definitely something I would definitely build. But right now, it's just not in the cards. Laughing at my own jokes. I do like the fact that you can open these ones without using your teeth. The blue ones are much nicer in terms of how you can open them. Are they better in terms of, well, they seem more organized. Go Canada. Assuming that these ones are actually packed in the States, which there's no real way to know for sure since there's nothing on the back. But these ones, it definitely does say they're packed in Canada. So I think that's pretty cool. I like to support my nation, all that good stuff. All right, let's see if these guys are better than those guys. Starting off with a Lost Legion. 1 and 2 black. Whenever this thing enters the battlefield, you scry 2. It's a 2/3. I'll put it mid. Inquisitor's Flail. That's got some pretty cool artwork on it, actually. 2 to put into play, 2 to equip. If the equipped creature would deal damage, combat damage, it deals double that damage. Nice. If another creature would deal damage, combat damage, sorry, to the equipped creature, it deals double that damage to the equipped creature instead. Oh, that's not so good. I thought it would deal half damage maybe, but no. So it's double for both. That's in. You know what? That might actually work really well in a deck where you want things to die. But otherwise, I'm going to say it's a mid card. Although it is. Nope, it's not old. 2011. Okay. Appendage Amalgam from the Dustmourne set. 2 and a black, 3/2, flash. Whenever this thing attacks, surveil 1. That I like a lot, actually. I wish the butt and the power were reversed, but otherwise, the fact that you can surveil every time you attack with that is pretty sick. Because that'll let you get through your deck a lot faster, figure out what you want, set up your next turn, all that good stuff. Pious Wayfarer. 1 white for a 1/2 constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters battlefield under your control, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. I'm going to put you mid. Enchantments do happen frequently enough in white that it's worth playing, but it's not probably going to make it into my decks anytime soon. Shire Sheriff, 1 and a white for a halfling. Halfling soldier, I should say. I do love the artwork on this. He did a great job capturing that orc. Vigilance, 2/2. Whenever this thing enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a token. When you do, exile target creature an opponent controls until this thing leaves the battlefield. You're arrested for gate breaking and tearing up the rules and trespassing and bribing guards with food. That's a lot of stuff that they're in trouble for. I mean, I think I have a decent number of copies of this already, but I do love the artwork, and it is Lord of the Rings, and it has vigilance. I'm going to give it top spot. Enter the Enigma. 1 blue, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Draw a card. Decent. Decent. Also Dustmourne. Definitely seeing some Dustmourne stuff in this set. But I will take that. That could be very useful in the blue deck that I'm trying to fix up. Cyclops Electromancer. 4 and a red for a Cyclops Wizard. 4/2. When it enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to target creature and opponent controls, where X is the number of instants and sorceries in your graveyard. It's not bad. It'd be nicer if you could, I mean, it'll be great in a deck that flickers it, but it's not bad. I will definitely put that. I'll put it mid because it's too weak on the butt side. Lifecraft Cavalry. Elf Warrior, 4 and a green for a 4/4 with trample, and when it enters the battlefield, no. It enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn. Interesting. So if you sacrifice something, like say a treasure token or a food token, and then you play this guy, he comes in with 2 +1/+1 counters, it becomes a 6/6 with trample. Not bad. Yeah, I'll put you top. I'll give you props for that. Ooh, Perry Brown. This is from the Doctor Who set. Nice. 3 and a white. It does have Doctor's Companion, which means I can play it with a Doctor if I decide to build a Doctor's deck at some point. The first historic spell you cast each turn has Convoke. Ooh, that's pretty cool. So if you cast an artifact, a saga, or a legendary creature, you will be able to tap other creatures to pay some of the mana cost. Nice. It is our first legendary of the day, so props to the card gods for that. And we also got a hollow. Nice. Alabaster Host Sanctifier. 1 and a white, Phyrexian Cleric, lifelink 2/2. I'll take it. I like the artwork on it. It's beautiful. Definitely a solid pull. Glimpse of the future, two in a blue. Look at the top three cards of your library. Put one into your hand, the rest into your graveyard. Not bad, not bad. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put you mid because of Sorcerer's Gate. Otherwise, you would be going top. Selesnya Gilgate. Nice land. Beautiful artwork on the nice land. Hero of the Winds. Three and a white. Flying. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Hero of the Winds, creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn. It's a 1/4. Cost is a little high for my liking, but otherwise, that's a pretty cool card. Tranquil Thicket enters the battlefield tapped. Add green. Cycle green. Yeah, okay. And trade the Helm. Exchange control of target artifact or creature you control with target artifact or creature an opponent controls. That's not until end of turn. Damn. This is from the Aether Drift set, which I did not pull a lot of card packs in. But that is pretty cool. I'm gonna count that as a hit, actually. For sure. It's still a little expensive, but I count it as a hit. Alright. Well, I mean, right now, if you had to make me judge, I'd say the blue pack actually had a little bit more spice to it. Although I think the original packs had a little more variety to them. Like there's a lot of different abilities in here, whereas this seemed to be very focused on a couple different sets. Dustmourne was present a few times, and there was a lot of stuff focused on cycling. So I assume a lot of that is probably similar sets, or at least similar planes in terms of the Magic content. All right, pack number two coming at you. What's in store? Hopefully some good stuff and more. Actually, this is pack number three, but pack number two from this side. Almighty Bushwag. Always a fun one to have. Um, he isn't really very strong by any means, but you can pump him up if you want to. A whole bunch. Assuming you have enough green, which, chances are green usually does pretty good at that stuff. I'll put you mid, though. Ooh, Drake Hatchling. Is this old? It does count as old, 93 to 99. It's a little damaged on the top there, if you guys can see that. Yeah, but I mean, I'm still pretty happy with the pull. Tuna blue for a flying 1/3. Pay blue, and this thing gets +1/+0 until end of turn, but you can only do this once each turn. So you can only make it a 2/3, unfortunately. But still, a beautiful artwork and old school card? Hell yes. I will definitely take that. We always love to pull the old school cards. Full charge. 2 in a red. Deals 3 damage to target creature or player and proliferate. Nice. That's a good one. Furnace Rains. 2 in a red. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player or battle, create a treasure token. Nice. I'm not sure if I have that one in my sacrifice deck that I previewed the other day. If I don't, I might be replacing one of the ones in there with this, because that is pretty good. Or I might put that into that goblin deck that I want to build. Reek of Smothering. Artifact creature construct 3 for 1/3 flying, and whenever a player casts a spell, they lose a life for each spell they've cast this turn. Oh, that is twisted. I like that a lot. That might be my favorite pull today. I'm going to set that aside up here because I think that might be my favorite pull today so far. Aquamoeba? Moeba? Amobia. So, Amobia, Aquamobia? Aquamobia. Okay, we got this. One in a blue for a 1/3. Discard a card, switch this thing's power and toughness until end of turn. Probably not going to do that. I will put you mid. Scrap welder. Oh, I put it on the wrong side. My bad. Goblin Artificer, 2 and a red for a 3/3. Tap, sacrifice an artifact with mana value X. Return target artifact card with mana value less than X from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste until end of turn. Nice. I am not building an artifacts deck yet out of goblins, but this one would go really well with the red, black, green goblin commander that I want to build eventually, the Shattergang guys. This would actually be really good for that deck. So, pretty good pull. Ooh, another old card, maybe? Nope, 2023. Just got the old school border. Okay. Momentary Blink. Interesting. It's got a little tombstone in the top left corner. I don't know what the heck that is. Whether that's like a... Is that the set symbol? No, it can't be the set symbol. That's weird. 1 and a white, exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Flashback 3 and a blue. Hopefully this is a legal card. Hope this isn't like some sort of like fake card, but I don't think I've ever really seen very many with the tombstone symbol at the top there like that. It's a really neat card. I like that card actually a lot. It's definitely going top. Warden of Evo's Isle. 2 and a blue, flying, 2/2. Creature spells with flying costs 1 less to cast. Nice. When I eventually touch up my bird deck, that'll probably go in there. Mystical Teachings. 3 and a blue, instant, search your library for an instant card or a card with flash. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. And this is flashback 5 and a black. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. You can do that at instant speed too, so in theory you could play the instant card that you add to your hand that turn if you have enough mana left. Telling GOP, 2 and a red for a 3/2. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, this thing deals 1 damage to each opponent. I think I had a copy of this before, but it's always nice to have an extra copy. So, but I'm going to put, yeah, I'll still put you top. Yes, I'll put you top because you deal damage to each opponent. Fierce Invocation. 4 and a red. Manifest the top card of your library, then put 2+1/+1 counters on it. I'm going to admit that. That costs a little too much for what it does. Strong Arm Monk. 4 and a white for a 3/3. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end turn. That's pretty solid. He's a little expensive to get into play, but once you got him on there, he's going to do some good stuff for you. Grasp of Darkness, 2 black. Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. Instant speed. Yeah, okay. And Towergeist. Flying, when this thing enters the battlefield, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. 2/2 for 4. I'm going to put you there. Alright. Not bad, not bad. 3 more packs to go. Next time I think I might do just 4 packs. 2 of each. If I'm going to do one of these again. This feels a little long, but hopefully not for you guys. I think it's feeling a little long for me because I haven't eaten lunch yet. Thought I would film this first, then probably try and post it while I cook. Next Robert, Haste 2/1 for 1 in a red. That is pretty awful. Down you go. Cartouche of Ambition. 2 and a black. Enchant creature you control. When this thing enters the battlefield, you can put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1, has lifelink. That's not bad. I like that. Fortifying Provisions. 2 and a white. Enchantment creatures you control get +0/+1. When it enters the battlefield, create a food token. Alright, I'll put that mid. Dark Bargain. 3 and a black. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Then this thing deals 2 damage to you. I'll take that. It's a little expensive, but the fact that it's instant speed is what's going to put it to the top, actually, instead of in the middle. I need a drink. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Okay. Glintwing Invoker. 4 and a blue for a 3/3. Human Wizard Mutant. That's an interesting combination. Pay 7 and a blue. This thing gets 3+3/+3 and flying until end of turn. I'm gonna pass. Thanks for coming out though. Russet Wolves. 3 and a red for a 3/3 wolf. The wolves of our valley are bred to detest the scent of ghouls. For centuries they have kept our estates clear of such carrion. Olivia Volderan. Interesting. It's probably not going to make it into my wolf deck, unfortunately, but because it costs just a little too much. I don't mind paying that for the werewolves, but for the actual wolves, I prefer them to actually be a little bit lower just so I can get them out earlier. Ooh, an extra Phoenix Chick is always a nice pull. Phoenix Chick is a 1 red for a 1/1. Flying haste, can't block. Whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, you can pay 2 red. If you do, you can return this thing from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking with a +1/+1 counter on it. So, just a great little comeback kid constantly. Always nice to have an extra copy of him for various red decks. Argivian Cavalier, sorry. 2 and a white, enlists. And when it enters the battlefield, you can create a 1/1 white creature soldier token. It's a 2/2, so basically, if you use the soldier token to help with the enlist, it becomes a 3/3 when it attacks. It's not bad. Cinderglade, always an awesome extra pull. That is pretty huge, actually, because that's one of those ones that you can actually search out with a card that says search for a forest, for example. So, pretty happy with that pull for our land. Shimmerwing Chimera. These packs definitely always have hollows, at least, it seems. I might have jinxed it myself. Well, knock on the wood here briefly, but seems like they always have hollows, which is pretty cool. And they seem to have a rare and a couple uncommons, which is nice. 3 and a blue for 3/2 flying at the beginning of upkeep. Return up to one other target enchantment you control to its owner's hand. It's not bad. I like the artwork. Definitely could be useful in the right deck. I just can't think of which one I would put it in right now, so I will still top it. Lashweed Lurker. 8 for a 5/4 with 5 green and blue as an emerge cost. Which means you can sacrifice a creature and pay the reduced cost of this card to put into play. And when you cast this thing, you may put target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library. I'm not sure whether I'd actually play that. That seems really expensive for what it does. It's not super well stacked. But I do like the artwork, so I will put it mid. Tranquil Cove is a great hit. I mean, I think I have way too many copies of Tranquil Cove, to be honest, for the amount of blue and white decks that I actually have, but gaining 1 life when you put a land into play is always nice, even if it comes into play tapped. Behemoth's Herald, 1 green for a 1/1 elf shaman who has pay 2 and a green, tap, sacrifice a red creature, a green creature, and a white creature. Search your library for a card named Godsire and put it into play, then shuffle your library. I have no idea what Godsire is, so I can't tell you if this is an amazing hit or if this is just the worst freaking card ever invented. Because that seems like a lot of stuff to sacrifice for one thing. I will definitely Google Godsire later, see what it is, but for now I'll put you mid. Pretty sure you're going to the bottom though. Broodcast Rambler, on the other hand, looks interesting. 4 and a white for a vehicle. When this vehicle enters, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. Nice. Crew 1, so the Thopter can crew the vehicle. And the vehicle's a 5/4. I'm pretty happy with that. I am building a vehicle's mount stack at some point, or whatever, so that will definitely be useful. And Intimidation Tactics. Target opponent reveals their hand, you choose an artifact or creature card from it, exile that card. Only costs 1 to put it into play, though, which is pretty good, so I will top that, even though it's sorcery. does say reveal, right? Yeah. So I mean, it does also give everybody like information about the opponent's hand at the table, which is nice to have. All right, one more pack on each side, and then we're going to get out of this because I am really hungry. Gonna go cook myself some pasta. And then I gotta get my lunch and stuff ready for work for tomorrow. Imposing Vantasaur. Five and a white, sorry, for a 3/6 vigilance and cycling one. That's not a bad dinosaur. It's much better than that tiny little nest robber one. I'll put you mid. You're a little bit expensive to get into play, but you do have some pretty nice stuff on you. Nurok Commando. Is that old? 2011. Nope. 1 and 2 blue for a 2/1 with Shroud, and when this thing deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Interesting. Very interesting. Eh, I would prefer Hexproof over Shroud, to be honest. Because Hexproof means that my opponents can't target it, but I can, whereas Shroud means nobody can target it. So I can't really use any of my abilities. For example, if I wanted to put that in my blue deck that really focuses on drawing cards, um, he would be awesome, but he can't be turned into an artifact. So I can't give him the +1/+1 bonus, unfortunately. Circular Logic. 2 and a blue. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1 for each card in your graveyard. Ho ho ho! That is a counter spell. Oh my goodness. Go away, McAfee. McAfee came with my new computer, but I immediately got my old virus plan put into place because I prefer Kaspersky Lab. Might not be the best one on the market, but I think it's my favorite. 2 and a blue, though. That's pretty great. And it has madness, which is insane. Echo Inspector. Nice. 3 and a blue for 2/3 flying. When it enters the battlefield, it connives. I do like conniving. Apparently, this is the blue pack. Just continuing on here. Flytide Serpent, 4 and a blue for a 4/4 that can't attack unless you return an enchantment you control to its owner's hand. Down to the bottom you go. Risk Grove. When this thing enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you return a non-layer card you control to its owner's hand. Taps to add red, green, or white. Pretty cool. I don't have a lot of layers. I think I have 2 now. Pretty sure the other layer that I own is a red, black, and green one, so that is nice to have a second one. Maybe go well in my cat deck. Or in something else that I build in the near future. Ooh, this one has a Star. I do love Star. Alright, what do you do? 1 green and white. Veteran war leaders' power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control. Nice. Tap another untapped ally you control. This thing gets your choice of first strike, vigilance, or trample until end of turn. Oh, when I build my allies deck, this thing is going to be so huge in that deck. What a hit that is. I'm going to put you mid because because I want to follow. Oh wait, yeah, this is the right side because I want to follow the rules of It's only useful in that allies deck that I want to build, but is so awesome in that allies deck. My goodness, that's going to be fun. Back to blue. Cloud of Fairies. 1 and a blue for flying. 1/1 when it enters the battlefield, untap up to 2 lands you control. Or no, it doesn't say you control. You could untap other people's lands. That's interesting. And it's cycling 2. And we finally hit a new color! Yay! Hideous Visage. 2 and a black. Creatures you control gain Intimidate until end of turn. Nice. Intimidate means they can only be black. They can only be blocked by black or artifact creatures. Yes, yes. Oh no, wait. Artifact creatures and or creatures that share a color with it. I always just assume black because Intimidate is looks always shows up on black cards, but actually, technically, If it was green, it could be blocked by green. Okay, good to know. Still gonna put it top, because I still think that's an amazing card to give your entire board Intimidate. For 2 and a black, that's not bad. Hellhole Flailer. I like the name. 1 black and red for a 3/2. It has Unleash, which means you can have this creature enter with a +1/+1 counter on it, but it can't block if it has one. Pay 2 black and red, sacrifice this thing, it deals damage equal to its power to target player. Cool. I like it. I like the artwork on it, and I think that's a neat ability. I'm going to top it. Alright, Smoke Teller. 1 in a green for 2/2. With 1 in a blue, look at target face down creature. Huh. It's kind of neat. I'm going to put it mid. Itchiness. Rotten Reunion. 1 black, instant, exile up to 1 target creature from a graveyard, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed, and you can flash this back. I mean, it's not terrible. It is instant speed, so you can get rid of something before somebody targets it in their own graveyard, per se. But Decayed zombies kind of suck because unless you want things to die on your board, you can't really use it. It can't block, and when you attack with it, it immediately dies afterwards. So I'm still going to put it top for now, just because of the exiling ability, and the flashback. Beneath the Sands, 2 in a green. Search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield tap, shuffle your library. It has cycling 2. Okay, it's not bad. Actually, yeah, I'll put it mid, because it's sorcery. If it was instant, I would go top. Ooh, Second Breakfast. 2 and a white. Up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+1 until end of turn, and you get to create a food token. Nice. And Valgavoth's Faithful. 1 black for a 1/1. Pay 3 and a black, sacrifice this, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, I like that. I just finished building my sacrifice deck, but that could probably easily replace something in it. Last pack of Destiny for today, guys. Sorry for my energy kind of dipping out here towards the end. Apologies on that. First day back to work, been up since 2:20. I really didn't sleep well, to be honest. I was up on and off since midnight. Plus walked the dog earlier than that, so yeah. Been a long morning. Ooh, this one's cool. Pay 6 to put into play, that's annoying, but taps to add 3 colorless, and pay 3 tap, sacrifice to draw 3 cards. Overall, I mean, it's just a really expensive card to get into play, so that's why I'm going to put it mid, but it definitely does a lot of good stuff. Myers Grasp, 1 in a black, enchantment, enchant creature, enchanted creature is -3/-3. Ooh, new Krov Guildmage. White and blue, 2/2. Pay white and blue, target creature gets flying until on return. Pay 3 white and blue. Detain target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Until your next turn, that permanent can't attack, block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. You can go top. You're pretty cool. Boiler Bilge's Ripper. Human Assassin from Duskmourn, 4/4 for 4 and a red. Enters the battlefield, you can sacrifice another creature or enchantment. If you do, this thing deals 2 damage to any target. Alright. Cyclops Electromancer. We already pulled one of those. It's not bad. Not amazing. Excavation Mole, 2 and a green. Trample, 3/3. When this thing enters the battlefield, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. Okay. Ooh. We got another layer. Croesus Catacombs. Sacrifice it unless you return a non-layer card into your hand. Non-layer land you control to its owner's hand. Taps for blue, black, and red. I like it a lot. Because these layers are kind of neat. The downside is they're not searchable, but the upside is they don't actually come into play tapped, unlike a lot of the other cards that tap for 3 mana. So that's pretty cool. Erratic Apparition, sorry. 2 and a blue for a 1/3 Flying Vigilance Spirit from Duskmourn. And it has Eerie, so whenever an enchantment you control enters, or whenever you fully unlock a room, this thing gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Not bad. Ransom notes. 1 for an artifact clue. When this thing enters the battlefield, surveil 1. Pay 2, sacrifice it, and choose 1. Cloak the top card of your library, goad target creature, or draw a card. I really hate goading, but I mean, that is actually not bad at all for what you're paying and what you get out of it. I will still top that. Selhoff Entomber. Tap, discard a creature, draw a card. It's not terrible, it's not the most amazing blue creature ever, but it does get the job done in the right deck. Tranquil Cove again? Hey, we pulled the same card twice. Aether Figment. Aether Figment, sorry. 1 and a blue for a 1/1, kicker 3. It is unblockable, and if it was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it. Nice. Demir Locket 3. Tap, add blue or black. Tap and pay 4 blue, black combined in some form or fashion. Sacrifice to draw 2 cards. Not bad. Classic Locket. Ooh, Horizon Spellbomb. 1 green to put into play, 2 to tap, sacrifice it, search your library for a basic land, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle. And when this thing is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay green. If you do, you get to draw a card. Alright. Not bad. And we end on a risky shortcut. Just draw 2 cards and everybody loses 2 life. I like that one. Alright, guys. We definitely kept our legendary streak alive, which is nice. It was a close call, though. We got a couple of really cool lands. Got an old school card. Pretty happy with the Draws of Destiny. In terms of the packs, comparatively, the blue packs at least always have a hollow, which is nice, it seems. Um, I think we got fairly even in terms of quality, though, from both. And my favorite pull of the day is still this one over here. I think this Rug of Smothering is going to be a really fun card to play in the right deck. You lose 1 life for each spell you cast. So basically, if you cast 1 spell that turn, you get 1 life. The second spell you cast, you're going to lose 2 life. Third spell you cast is going to cost you 3 life, and so on and so forth. I think that's going to be really fun, and I know exactly what deck I want to put that in now, the more I think about it. That's going to fit really well into my Guildgate deck that doesn't want me to put too many permanents into play. So, cool. All right, well, I'm going to leave you with that, and I'm going to leave you with Kaiba. No, Daddy, you're not going to leave them with me. I don't care. I'm too tired today. Yes, baby. Getting up for the work this morning was a rough thing for both of us. I know. I will put on your cartoons and your comedy stuff shortly, and I will go cook the lunch. All right, baby? Will that make you happy? Would Kaiba like some cheese? Eh? Do you want some cheese? Yeah? You want some cheese? Yeah? Maybe? I think it's time for cheese. All right, guys. Much love to you from Kaiba and I. To you, take care. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and we'll see you on Thursday for a new set versus old set.